Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite show about shows, The Antenna, with the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez.
Yes.
I'm Nando Rufino. Today's show, as the last three have been, Survivor. Dane, let's just start with a general, from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
Yeah.
Where do you think this season is so far, and how do you feel about it the rest of the way? So give me two different ratings. Like, how has it been so far? And then what's kind of like your feeling for how this is going to be going forward?
I think they're both above a 5, but slightly higher on the second question. So how has it been so far? I would give it a 7. You know, I think it's cool, and I think the dynamics are cool. I think, you know, the fact that it is all veteran players who know what they're doing is a good thing, because we'll get some hopefully high level gameplay. And I know that you and I are both fans of the art of war of it all.
Yes.
But, you know, some of this other special quote unquote season 50 stuff, I'm not a huge fan of. Like, how many times do I have to hear them call it Billie Eilish?
Oh man, we haven't talked about that yet.
And like the Zach Brown stuff, that just takes away from the purity. I think we're both purists, so
even
that
the shot in the dark, right?
Yeah, well, that's
Like,
been there for a few seasons, I would
know.
say. But yes, as a purist, I think those things. But then moving forward, I think it's going to get better, because I think it will only get more cutthroat. I think some more of the like fan voting things will be involving loopholes and gameplay surprises, because they're going to have to throw these veterans off. And so I look forward to that. And I think we're on the precipice of that, quite frankly. So I'll go 6 and then 8.5.
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind if that, you have this in the rundown, that the Warrior Trio.
Yeah.
I could just all go. I have no interest. I like Joe. You know, I like Joe. Coach, I think, has just gone too cheeseball play to the camera, you know, trying to invent like these Japanese proverbs.
The Tidewalker, the Stone Bell,
Bound
Warrior.
Yeah. And Colby's just, I don't know, man. Like, it feels weird having Colby be like, I was so honored that he gave me a nickname.
Right.
He should have been like, this guy, like, okay, I played along for a minute, but this is insane.
Yeah. I agree with you. I actually expected Colby to do that. I expected Colby's reaction to be like, okay, cool, bro. You know, but in fact, you're right. He was like, oh my God, I've been knighted by Coach. Because quite frankly, you know, Colby has his own Survivor fame. You know, he doesn't need Coach.
Yeah, he doesn't need Coach. He's not like some new guy from season 46.
Right, exactly. No, I'm with you. But yeah, I know you also do not love you know, naming the Billie Eilish idol and having Zach Brown going spearfishing for a full segment.
Like, I fast forward. Honestly, like, I know we didn't have the show last week. Like, in that show 2 weeks ago, I fast forwarded. Like, the second I knew it was going on, like, Zach Brown's gonna be playing guitar, fast forward. And it, like, I'm on YouTube TV, so like I can see, you know, as you fast forward, it shows you like a little clip. So like I would know if like someone notices an idol under the table kind of thing, and I'll stop and watch it. But like, this is just filler. I got to skip like 20 minutes of that, and I skipped the reward challenges too. But now that those are done,
reward challenges.
Yeah, I don't care.
There's
right? Like,
dynamics in there, especially like when they decide who to take with them on the rewards, stuff like that. There's definitely some gameplay dynamics in that part.
I'm talking about the actual okay, guys, let's go, and then and they run through things and throw sandbags, and then I just go to the end.
You don't think it matters to see like who defecates the mattress and can't do the puzzle, or
talk about it
who is like an a-hole to the rest of the group?
No, it's, you know, like Cirie comes, oh, sorry, guys, that one was on me. You know, I got tired in the mud. And so, like, you know, like, right after it happens, that apology at camp that happens every time, you know?
That's fair.
And then, so, you know, Cirie really messed up, but, you know, she's my number one ally, and so I'm not going to vote her out. You know, like, that's it, man. That's paint by numbers.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the other thing, now that we have, like, 2 weeks of stuff to discuss, and remember after our first episode, we saw some people on social media being like, hey, don't we know these outcomes and stuff like that? But, you know, in some of these prediction markets, at the beginning, you know, it's just like, who's going to win the season, right? Yeah. And we had our card, and unfortunately one of our guys is banged out already, but it is what it is. But now, Nando, I'm seeing week by week, they're just putting up like, who's going to get eliminated this
Yeah.
week? Who's
Yeah.
going to get voted out this week? And I mean, like, it's been 2 for 2, right? Like 2 weeks ago, Mike White zooms to 99%.
Yep.
And in fact, it is Mike White. Then, this most recent week, Charlie and Angelina zoom to 99%. And bang, that's the thing. So like
Charlie and Angelina on March 19th were 89% and 75% when that market opened up.
Okay.
89% and 75%, dude.
Right.
And then the only kind of blip was Rizzo went up to he just shot up to 15% like the middle of that day. Held at like 5 and then just dropped off again 2 days later. And it was just like Charlie and Angelina 94, 92.3, 93, 97, 98, 98. And by the time March 23rd hit, they were 95 and 93. And
so do we have to like kind of take a step back and be like, the smart play is instead of trying to be like, someone's at 99% out of 20 options is really the more profitable way to look at this? Like, yes, there is insider trading. Yes, there is in the know. Yeah. And the next time someone's over 80%, just ride that ish.
So this market isn't up yet. This is the $267,000 market when it was all said and done. Who will be eliminated from season 50, episode 5.
Right.
Who will be eliminated from season 50, episode 6 isn't up yet. And it should have been according to this. Like it was up on March 19th. We're doing this on the 27th. So that's been more than a week.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just like, dude, like this is just going to get us in more trouble than it's worth because
that's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the time to do it would have been when Angelina was at 72.9%.
That's what I'm saying, right? Because in the real world, right, when there are 20 options, no one should even be above 15%.
Right.
So if anyone's in the 60s, in the 70s, there's already inklings of that, right?
Yep.
And then when there's movement to further confirm that, I think it's almost like, we've been saying, hey, let's just, be contrarian here. But maybe the more profitable way is to kind of ride the wave. And by the way, Nando, I hate to start shrilling, but everyone listening to us should just go to, our 7 Oracles website, predictionmarkets.com. They should get the newsletter and they should check out the tools.
predictionmarketspicks.com.
Marketspicks.com, because they should check out the tools. One of the tools we have is to give you an alert when there is big movement like this, right? So in this case of like, oh snap, Angelino goes from 67% to 88%, you will get an alert so that you don't get left behind, kind of this dramatic movement. So you can, in fact, ride the wave if this is the way you want to play it. But once again, predictionmarketspicks.com, because the 7 Oracles are trying to help you out.
Hey, speaking of that, the one movement in the futures market, Cirie has gone up significantly. She's almost doubled. She's gone from 5, and that who will win, she's gone from 5 to, well, now she's at 9. A minute ago, she was at 10. And she went as high as 11. Down? Aubry's down to 87. Okay. Cirie is up to, say, 9 or 10. Everyone else is just 1 now.
So now there's only 2 options?
Basically everyone else is down to 1. But she took it out of the pool and not out of Aubry, essentially.
So that says to me that Aubry and Cirie are both in like the final 3.
The final, maybe the final 2. Like, you never know, right? Until
that could be one of the things the fans vote on. Is it a final 3? Is it a final 2? We're starting to get, and in the kind of preview for next week, right? We saw a couple of things that I think are interesting. One, that there looks like there's going to be a merge at 17 players, which would definitely be kind of messing it all up and starting to let these personalities work. But we know that there's other weird stuff that's on the horizon, like different from the normal structure. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's a final 2 and not a final 3.
You know who I'm starting? So I know we talked about this, and like, hey, just a recap for everyone who's like, we are on Charlie, Tiffany, Emily. We got a no on Aubry. So Charlie's gone. We can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But we did express some love for Genevieve early on. Like we both liked her, and like, someone who's, I appreciate edits. This Genevieve Aubry thing.
Yeah.
Seems kind of like a forced edit. And especially now they're going to merge, like, they're no longer have to hang out with each other, in the same small camp.
Yeah.
I wonder if Genevieve's the move. I wonder if like just setting her up versus Aubry is either, just to have a thing going on right now. Because there's like the Billie Eilish idol that's going to come back to Genevieve maybe at some point. But I just wonder if that's kind of like planting seeds for Genevieve to make it to the end. And again, like we talk about this all the time, we're not taking this 1 cent and being like, I need her to get to 100. We're taking this 1 cent and being like, if she gets to 30 and makes the final 3 and it's like her against Aubry, maybe that's something. Maybe.
It could be. I see it differently. I see it as almost as the inverse, Nando, because if you buy in at all to this like Aubry at 85 to 90% and has been the entire time, that means she clearly goes far, right? So the way I then spin that is whoever is trying to go up against her loses the war. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Right. And the way I look at it, that's part of the reason why, for example, the opposite, I like Tiff, because Tiff has certainly aligned herself with Aubry, right? And so if the markets and the insider trading of it all is showing that Aubry goes far, then that also likely means her number 1 and her alliance goes far. So I actually think it's a better bet. Like, I'd be willing to say right now that I think Tiff goes further than Genevieve, and in the same way, when we have, if you say Cirie is starting to move up, one thing we saw in that last episode, right, was at least at Sela, it was kind of Rizzo, D, and Cirie, right? Cirie told Rizzo about the vote. Rizzo told Cirie about the idol, right? So it makes me think that that's going to be an alliance. And if Cirie is moving up, it kind of like raises all boats. It makes me wonder if Rizzo goes further in the game, because now, at least on Sela, it's that. And then on the other side, on the bottom, would be Jonathan and Devers. But it looks like they're merging. But that's the way I look at it. If these guys or gals are huge percentages, it basically means they go far. I would rather take a piece of their alliance as the kind of cash out play, thinking they go far, as opposed to the people who are trying to take them down because they're going to ultimately lose the battle.
Yeah. I don't like Devers anymore. I guess I never liked to begin with, and I think I've been very open about that. But I don't know, man.
Do you think that them planting that idol at Tribal Council is like going to amount to anything? Anybody's going to look at it or find it or think it's something?
It's like they're dropping every storyline, right? Like they dropped that one. They dropped even like the fan stuff. They haven't mentioned that, as heavy-handed in like the last couple episodes. Like it just seems like disorganized. Like, hey, the fans voted on this. It should. I'm a Big Brother OG kind of guy, and like Big Brother when they had the fan votes, like it was very, 40 minutes. Okay, here's what the fans said this time, and here's what the fans are making the fan guy do, and here's what the fans said. And Survivor's kind of like, oh, by the way, the fans voted that the sand should be pink instead of blue here. On to the next thing. I don't know, man. I hate fans. I hate fan votes.
Dropping it off. Yeah, they're just dropping it whenever. But that's what I'm saying. When you ask me to like kind of score so far and the future, I think there's going to be more of this fan stuff. Maybe that's part of why they have to merge, right? So early, because then they could start to leverage some of this fan voting stuff a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. Here's some good news for you, Dane. As we were talking, I was just triple checking that episode 6 markets haven't been put up yet.
Yeah.
So last season 49, it looks like up to episode 6, they had the orange line all the way across the top, right? Where somebody knew something.
Yeah.
If you look at episode 7 and episode 8, they don't. Right, so like episode 7 was kind of all over the place. There was a favorite. It was actually Jawan Pitts came out on top.
Okay.
For like October 31st all the way to like November 4th, and then Nate Moore jumped, and then Jawan jumped again, and Nate jumped again, and then Nate had a huge jump up to 98, 8.6. So that didn't all of them had that top line like all the way across. By the time they got to episode 7. It got shaken up a little bit. And then if you go to episode 8, I'm just putting in Survivor episode, whatever. By the time you go to Survivor episode 8, Sophie was like 99% when it opened for 2 days, dropped, MC took over. Sophie jumped to the lead again, then MC jumped again. And so like, there might be hope here. Like
maybe that has to do with like the merge and the jury and how like the public or insiders can know early on, but then these people at Ponderosa or in the jury or after the merge are like sequestered away in a little bit of a better way once we get deeper into the game.
Yes, they do. Same thing. Sophie was up top when the episode 9 came out. Alex was right behind her. Savannah was all the way at the bottom. Alex jumped on November 18th and just sky high, and then that was it. You know what I mean? Like Sophie dropped. Yeah. So the graphs look totally different after episode 6, at least if you go on
That's interesting.
Survivor season 49. Again, there's $31,000 worth of volume, where this last one last week was 257.
Sure.
Which, natural growth, whatever. But maybe there's some hope, Dane. Yeah,
maybe we should keep an eye on it. So I guess here's my question then. Like, so when this market comes out for next week, are you going to continue to fade it? Or
right? Right. That's so it went all the way up to 6, right? And then 7, it started out hot and then dropped down. I wonder if maybe it's like the blind leading the blind, but like people get into this for 6 weeks and like, okay, whoever's like opening at 90%, that's the one we're gonna jump on because obviously someone knows something. And then you just don't, like, without warning, like, oh no, the one who started at 12 was actually the one who got kicked off.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And we've been doing it to like, let's not believe it.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing. Like, in essence, if you're betting something at 90%, right? It's like in sports betting, if you just keep on betting -5, -600 favorites, right? And like, listen, those usually come in. But the one time it doesn't, you completely erase all of the profits from doing it, right? So like, it's a good strategy until that one time when it screws you.
So Dane, is the move put a little bit of money on no if someone jumps out at 99 this week?
I guess.
Like, I mean, $5 on no.
They've been right every time.
But they were last season too until episode 7.
Yeah, I guess the true kind of like sharp bettor in me just hates believing the 90% favorite, wants to find the 6% that's actually right or that has some movement. Yeah. So like, it's just counter to my DNA. So no, I don't want to do it. I want to fade it. Yeah.
I call you, I mean, like I associate with the no. Like it's since I've known you, since we started talking about this, since the Super Bowl, Dane has been, and not like you're negative, but like the edge is no, like, getting off the rabidness of crowds and like people jumping.
I mean, but it's burned me on everything from Mike White to Lady Gaga at the Super Bowl. So
yeah, but you're taking long shot no's, so like you hit 1 or 2 of those and like you don't get burned anymore. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Like look at that, I got it hit, and now I'm
that's the inverse. Like what I'm saying, at the 90%, you got to get it right all over 90% of the time for it to be profitable. The way we're talking about it, you only got to hit it once out of every 10 times, and you're in the black. And like, it's. I think it goes back to, Nando, like, is this for entertainment, to have like some investment in the shows, to live and die with it, or are you trying to actually make money, right? And that's the thing. That's why we're trying to talk about it through both lenses here on the antenna. But I think you have to look yourself in the mirror and decide what are you trying to do here.
I will put like, and this is just me as, I guess, an editor, what I like to read, and just a consumer, I guess, what I like to read. And this goes way back to the DFS days. I take that back. DFS, when they had the millionaire makers.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere with this. Like, that was kind of exciting because they were like average Joes for a little while, like there were just some people who, I put in a lineup and I was right because, this guy scored a touchdown at the end of the last game. Those are cute and fun. And then when the pros started to figure it out, it stopped being cute and fun. And same thing, like I stopped caring about like this guy won $2.1 million on Underdog. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I know he's gamed the system. I don't, good for him.
It's kind of like selling oil at 7:30 a.m.
Yeah. This dude's doing his job. And so like when the betting stuff started going like this, and there are these tweets like, oh, one better at BetMGM hit this 10-team parlay. And I'm like, I don't care. And they're starting to do it with the prediction markets. Like, this guy made $300,000 by scraping data and following these big accounts. And I'm like, man, I don't care. Like, I like just being right. I like, putting $10.
Right.
Well, on Ozzy, I put $20 on, at 1 cent. And just for me, like, I don't care about reading about the person who, figured out the data and this and that. So,
yeah. So here, let's be right. We have not talked about Vatu yet.
No.
Okay. And Emily was gone. Emily thought she was in the middle. She was gone. And so there's 4 left in that tribe. And here's what I'm saying here.
Wait, Angelina's gone, you mean? Emily's still there.
Sorry. Angelina's gone. Right.
Yeah.
So, it was billed as Steph and Ozzy were kind of together, and then billed with Christian and Emily kind of playing together.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Emily can't keep her mouth shut. And we've said this before.
She's
Emily can't keep her mouth damn shut, will talk to everybody, and is clearly fanboying Ozzy. Clearly wants to be down with Ozzy, right? So to me, what is obvious in the span of like, let's just be right, is that Emily is going to get down with Stephanie and Ozzy, and Christian is SOL. So I believe that if there's opportunities for us to get, to fade Christian, I think that's going to be the right play, because also there's no other, like in a merge, he's going to kind of be left out in the cold because all these alliances are forming in these tribes pre-merge, whether it's the warrior spirit or the Rizzo with D and Cirie and maybe Camilla. Christian's going to kind of be out there left in the cold, because to me, Emily is clearly, favors Ozzy than continuing to work with Christian, and she can't keep her mouth shut.
She can't. It's crazy. Like every time, like every single time someone tells her something, she just tells them at the campfire in front of 3 other people. You know what I mean? Like,
which was like Christian literally behind Ozzy being like, no, like making mad faces at her and gesturing, which I thought was hysterical.
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel. I think they're giving Christian a villain cut. I'm starting to feel like I don't like him anymore. He used to be lovable and fun and you want to root for him. And now I'm just kind of like, I don't like, every time he talks, I'm like, I don't like him. He's getting cocky.
Yeah.
Emily, I still kind of like, but she's fallen into like almost how you're explaining it. She's not like masterminding. She's just kind of thinking out loud and making the right decisions. But to me, she's just kind of blah. I still love Ozzy. He's a beast, and I got money on him. I'm, rooting for him. I had no problem with Angelina. I liked Angelina. So, like, I don't know where like, this merge is going to mix things up a bit, I think.
It really is. I think the biggest thing for me is, like, so we lost our Charlie play.
Yeah, right? Goodbye, Charlie.
If I had to double down on something, it would really be Tiff. Because Tiff is clearly linked with Aubry. And that is going to stay. They're going to stay, I think, together. And Aubry is going to take Tiff with her deep into the game, right? Yeah. So will Tiff make the final 2 or 3? No. But if Tiff is at 1%, my biggest, strongest feeling, hottest take is if you get Tiff at 1% right now, there will be a time that you are able to cash out with Tiff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. For our sake, I hope you're right. But that is the strategy, right? But also, if you believe in the jury. If you believe in Cirie, it does seem like she trusts Rizzo, and Rizzo kind of like,
the Riz God.
Yeah, the Riz God seems to like they seem to be,
and they shared info.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like they shared like very, deep info. Like she's got an extra vote, and it just seems like Rizzo will cut someone's throat, man. Like he's.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I could see him backstabbing Cirie.
I could too. Like once they get to the merge, it could be like, because everyone feels the same way about Cirie, right? Like that she's this mama bear, that they know everyone loves her, that she's like the most famous, best player that never win the game, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Don't forget Ozzy's like with her too. He gave her the vote that she told Rizzo that she got.
And like people could get in Rizzo's ear, and he could ultimately, and the strategy side, want to cut her throat before she cuts his.
And that dude's got to be exhausted. The way he was explaining it, he's like, I did 36 days and then had 5 days off, and then I'm back on Survivor. Like that'll wear you down, man. He's gonna get tired. And like, I wonder what they did in those 5 days to kind of like even the playing field for him a little bit.
I don't think they did anything. Like Savannah was in the same situation, right? That's she's been voted out, but like there can't be much. There's like, because you're in Fiji, for goodness sake. So like those 5 days in between, one full day is a flight home and one full day is a flight back out there.
I don't even know if he did that, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then he just laid up at Ponderosa chilling.
I get, and just rested and ate for 5 days, but your body's got to be like, like when everyone
talks a day and chill and did some yoga.
They have a burger and they have diarrhea for 2 days. You know what I mean? Like his body adjusting. That, I don't know, man. That's interesting. Although I guess he got out a little early. Maybe he's counting his playing days as the jury. And they.
No, he was deep in the game. He went deep.
All right, but he had to vote. So which means he's on the jury.
He was on the jury. He went pretty far because the biggest thing with Rizzo, like he was a strategic guy and he had an idol, right? And everyone always thought he was going to play it, and he never played it. And so he got down to like final 4, final 5 for sure.
All right. He's an interesting one for me, and I also can't tell like just in TV terms if I like him or not.
Right.
But we haven't really talked about him much.
Yeah, because we knew and here's why, because we were on Charlie. Right.
Yeah, true.
And
right.
we knew that they were kind of going heads up. I will say this though, Rizzo, and we saw this in the last episode, he's this unknown quantity to them because they haven't seen his season, right?
Yeah.
But he's all hyping himself up to them. Like, I played really well.
He's lying.
I want to be one of the best ever. Like that, I don't think that's the way to play it. I think he's talking too much. I think he's inflating himself too much.
I mean, like you're out there and you're hanging out with these people and you're just talking and telling stories and like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he thinks that's a good idea for some reason.
I mean, clearly he does.
Well, maybe you're playing up to some people too, like when someone's like, hey, that band, Johnson Brothers, and you're like, yeah, of course. Wait, I think that song, right? Like maybe he's just like, he's with all these winners and these people have gone far. Like maybe he's kind of like
starstruck.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
So what do we think is going to happen? What do we think is going to happen in terms of like these fan things? Because the merge at 17 is crazy. They're building this as like one of the biggest stories and shockers or something ever next week. So like, what's going to happen? Is Jeff Probst going to get involved? We're going to see some Exile Island? Are we going to see some weird battle? Like, I think there's going to be something, some kind of big switch.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, like, what could it possibly be? Like, maybe 3 eliminations, maybe a triple elimination to get them down to a decent number before. Maybe they do it before the merge, like you cut that. He says it, but the reaction is everybody. You know what I mean? But in reality, he said it in front of.
The number is weird to me that they're doing it at so many. So I think you're right. They gotta like do something with multiple people.
You gotta shave 5 like right off. Maybe that's why the market's not up yet, because maybe they're getting rid of 5, and I don't know.
Or like I know they had kind of an Exile Island early, right? With what was it, like Q and Ozzy or whatever. I don't think we've ever seen like multiple people on Exile Island, right? Like maybe there's a merge,
right?
But it really plays out in some weird unbalanced tribe. Like maybe out of the 17, it's really like 13 of them are together on the main island and 4 are together on Exile Island.
Yeah.
Like we've never seen something like that, like unbalanced kind of numbers. But I do think you're right that there's some kind of group thing, whether it's group elimination, group banishing, something to that effect.
It has to be. And I guess you got to start doing this stuff earlier because you have so many people who are so good at playing. It's kind of like this guy's amazing at chess. Like, all right, well, let's speed up his timer a little bit then.
Exactly. You got to change the structure to throw a curveball because like they know how to play this game.
And they all know each other, so it's like, I really think like the most intriguing thing to me going forward, Dane, is this Cirie, Ozzy, Rizzo possible trio, because she's going to have to connect Ozzy and Rizzo, which shouldn't be hard, right? Like
shouldn't be. I think that's interesting. You mean like post merge?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, so Ozzy's kind of like floating around by himself. Like he's got Steph, but I think he just has Steph as a matter of convenience in a way.
He's got Emily too.
He kind of has Emily, but I think Emily's got Christian more than, like you can't trust. Like if you're looking at Emily and Steph versus Cirie and Rizzo, like I would go with the Cirie and Rizzo side, right?
Sure, I agree. But again, with a merge at 17, you kind of need more than 3.
Yeah,
maybe they're all together as a 6 kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that could be it.
And I think so. I like that. It sounds like you're down on the warrior code.
To me, they're just irrelevant. Because seriously, like they just feel like 3 guys are going to get eliminated. They feel like the post-merge eliminations because they're strong threats, kind of thing. But
yeah, so I'm with you. The other the kind of crew / power player to me is Tiff and Aubry. I'm really interested to see Tiff and Aubry because they're gonna clearly gain someone, right? Aubry has an idol, for goodness sakes. And then when they put it all together, what the other wrinkle we're gonna start to see is people are gonna be like, I'm the one who gave you your idol.
Yeah, right.
I'm the one who did the Billie Eilish thing. And that's going to create like, oh, so does that mean you want to work with me? Or does that mean you want to blindside me so it boomerangs back to you?
So I get it back. Exactly.
That's what I think is going to be kind of one of these big storylines once they merge. It's going to be like, oh, you gave me the idol. And people are going to be like, oh, so do I work with them? Or does that mean I need to really be careful of them because if I get banged out, it's incentivized for them.
Right. I don't know. That's a good, I mean, if we were really getting deep in this with that would be 20% of my strategy, I think. Or even just like give it back to me tonight. Like they did with the shot in the dark.
Right.
Like I need this tonight to save myself.
But to your point, right? Like they have to create curveballs because these players know how to play the default structure of the game.
Right. Exactly. I mean, they're, looking for idols. I don't know, whatever. I don't want to, we complain about this every week. Me, the new generation versus the old way of playing the game, but
right.
You got to change because, look, Russell Hans is a legend because when his season came the first time, it was always a clue. Like you found a clue that said like, look up to the east when you're walking down the beach. And he was just like, I know they're hidden somewhere. I'm just going to go look for them without the clues. And that changed everything because now everyone's looking in trees and trying to pull out little things and stuff like that. So you have to change the nature of the
bench at the challenge or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like that dude like changed the entire game just like on a hunch. Like something must be hidden here, and just kept finding them at the best possible times. So I don't know. I don't want to complain too much about it. What should we do about Charlie? Just bid that spot a Fonda due and consider it sunk money, or do you want to?
I think that
down
means we
on
lost.
Tiff. Should we double
we
down
had
on
a
Tiff?
portfolio, and we're down. Like whatever we said, we started with like $20 or whatever, right? We said we were going to go 5. Like we now only have $15 in play, and that's so to me, that's it, Nando. Like if our goal is to at the end of the season be like we are up money on this, right?
Yeah.
Like so I think we could do either way.
I'd love to sell our Emily.
But we can't. It's at 1%. It's still at 1%. It's not
I know. We lose like we're down a cent on each sell, right?
So I think our choices are we can either just take the hit, right? And we're down, or we decide to re-up, but that means it's more of a sunk cost. If we want to back someone else, then that means, instead of investing $20, we've now invested $25.
Right.
For the grand scheme of things.
But we have more knowledge now. Like this Emily thing, I don't like as much as I did 3 weeks ago.
Okay, but I do like the Tiff thing. And so like for me,
I like the no Aubry.
For me, it's almost like let's not invest more and then just be like really mindful to hop on the cash out option on Tiff.
All right.
Deal. But if you want to buy into someone, I'm with it. Like who would you want to buy into?
No, I like your double down on Tiff idea. I do. I mean, like the Cirie surge a little bit has me thinking like, if she just started at 10 and she was still 10, it would still be great value. But her going from 5 to 10, and I don't know, like if it's just people who are just, I learned about Kalshi the other day and I love Survivor and I went and looked and Cirie's such a great value, because even those people must be looking at Aubry and being like, something's wrong here. I'm staying away from this. But the fact that she doubled is interesting to me. That's all.
Yeah, it is.
Look, I don't have to do it for the show. I might do it on my own. I might just go get a from the Nando account,
Fair enough. But no, I think we have invested $20 and, our Charlie play is dead.
All right. We had a good run, Charlie, and then you messed it all up, dude. Messed it all up, for that weird late night encounter with Rizzo.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Good show. I feel good about where we're at. Yeah, we hit a lot of things. I think, there's nothing. The fun thing about this to a degree is like, we can't crazy preview the next, like I feel totally great about the futures, but crazy previewing the next show because of whatever twists and turns and going off a 30-second, like it's just impossible. So, we talk about what we know and the trends and who looks good. And,
but I will say this, if there are huge hops in the market and you want to be ahead of it, go to predictionmarketspicks.com, sign up for the newsletter, check out the tools, because if there's a big move, you will get notified, and then you can figure out yourself. Do you want to believe it, or do you want to, like like Nando categorized me, do you want to be the no?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a smart move, man. It's a smart move. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Dane Martinez, a spitting statistician. I'm Nando DeFino. This has been The Antenna. Check out predictionmarketspicks.com. The 7 Oracles, powering it with all of our great content. It's the best.
The tribe has spoken.
We'll see you all later. Bye.